Welcome, everyone, and good morning. Get ready. We're about to lift off. Welcome, everyone. Come on in. Come on in. Oh, this is going to be a good one, man. Oh, they're rolling in. Single file line, everyone. Make your way to the front stage. You're in for a treat. And while we wait, just gonna see if I know that, let's see real quick. Just a couple more minutes, guys. Let's get everyone in here. Good morning. Good morning. Happy liftoff day. It's going to be a great day. A lot of value is going to be given today. Super excited. Austin, can you hear that?
What am I listening to?
Can you hear that sound here?
Yeah. No.
No?
I don't hear anything. No.
It's not playing? Hold on. How about that?
Oh, man. You know what? I think Zoom cuts out the music. Is this my intro song? Yeah, this is my intro song.
That's your theme song, man. Thunderstruck. Everybody can just, play along with that. What's up, everyone? Welcome. As people start to roll in, first, I want to say thank you guys for joining in, being early today. Within the first 2 minutes, we already have 100 people in the call. So I know a lot of you guys are gonna pop in, pop out. You're gonna get value. Maybe you might join on some of your the speakers that align most with what you're trying to accomplish in your business. Here's the goal, guys. We're not gonna waste your time today. This is a free event, and we're gonna treat this event like you all paid thousands and thousands of dollars for it, because that's all of our standards. So really just, enjoy, take notes. A lot of people ask, is this going to be recorded? Yes, it's recorded. You click the recording button, but it might be a month before we chop everything up and get it out. And 30 days worth of time for you to implement something is a long time. So obviously the benefit of you being here is that the things you learn, you're going to want to implement and take action on to obviously lift off your company for the new year. So a lot of you guys have been here. I do want to know if you have been to the last liftoff. Go ahead and drop an emoji in the chat. Just any emoji. Just want to know, kind of gauge the audience who was here for the first liftoff, which was last year. Go ahead and drop that in the chat. Okay, so let's get that webinar chat going. Okay. Right there. Nice. Actually, you sent that to host and panelists, Austin. Change your settings there.
Oh, man.
Let me make sure we got that. We got to make sure that chat's on. So as we get everyone in here, guys, we're just going to make sure everything is running smooth, and we are going to, there we go. I just fixed it. All right. Everybody should be able to chat now. So go ahead. There we go. What's up, everyone? Let's get those emojis in there. Guys, listen, I just want to make you well aware. We are not going to waste your time. Every minute of this is going to be valuable. We're going to move fast. All right. So, Austin, I'm going to let you run this, man. As always, you kick us off. And I know you're going to bring massive value, guys. So first, I want to, again, thank everyone for being here. And look, we got people from Canada. Love to see it. And real quick, guys, if you want to just drop where you're listening from, I know that'll increase the value of this event. Just remember how fortunate we are to be in a world where we can all connect so easily. We got Columbus, South Carolina, Cincinnati, California. We got Clearwater, Florida. Man, they're popping in. Look at this. Amazing. New Jersey, represent. Salt Lake City, Illinois. So great to have you all here. Austin, I'm going to pass the ball to you. Go ahead and do your thing, brother. We're all going to be cheering you on.
Let's do it. All right. So Tanner, again, thanks, brother, for having us on here. This event is great. I know we kicked this off last year and we had nothing but positive feedback. So this event is for all of you listening in. And welcome to the largest online event for painters today. It's crazy to even think about that. So with that said, I first want to introduce myself. My name is Austin Hauser. My one sentence bio is I'm a husband, a father, and chief brainiac over at Base Coat Marketing. And for those of you who may have not have heard of Base Coat Marketing, we are the largest full service agency for painters today. That means that we have the most data, right? Simply. We are headquartered out of Wilmington, North Carolina, with a team of 27 rock stars, and we serve this industry and this industry alone. So enough about that. Again, this event is for you. So today, I want to talk to you about what is shaping up to be the best year ever. All right, 2024, if you are not aware, is a leap year. So we have an extra day to be extra awesome this year. But before I dive into why I believe this year is going to be the best year ever, let's talk about what makes this year different. I'm going to get these slides working right here. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about something called foresight. And it's having the ability to predict what's going to happen in the future, right? We all want a little certainty in our life. And here at Base Coat Marketing, we only make decisions based on data. We use a scientific approach, all right? We can have a hypothesis. We think this is going to work based on our feelings or a hunch, so we test it. But at the end of the day, any concrete decisions we make are based on hard, measurable numbers. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so we're going to discuss how you can leverage our data to position your painting business ahead of the competition this year. But I'm going to start by getting a little philosophical. And if Jason Paris is not in the comments yet, he's bound to be now. We're going to talk about some concepts, not because they are a passion of mine, but because they are critical for you to grow as a business owner and as an entrepreneur and as a person. All right, so in life, there is only one guarantee, just one. And that guarantee is change. Okay, everything will change and everything will come to an end. Your business, your life, planet Earth will eventually be consumed by the sun, right? So we do not live in a static world. And that's continuing to change every single day. All right, so the strategies and tactics you used to grow your business yesterday may not work today. All right, last year will not be the same as this year. And this year definitely will not be the same as next year. All right, so if you're going to thrive as a business and as a business owner, you need to embrace that mindset. It's never been more true than it is today. So what has changed in 2024? What makes this year different than last year or 2022 or 2021 or 2020? If you started your painting business at any time over the last 3 years, you have only known what I like to call the COVID rush. All right, this is where everyone was sitting in their home during lockdown, staring at the walls or their kitchen cabinets, recognizing how much they need to invest in a facelift for their home. All right. Now, during that time, compared to, let's say, a sudden massive increase in demand, the supply was relatively low. All right. Now, this is a little economics 101 lesson. Supply always trails demand. All right. So what do you think happened? Most contractors got wind and they either shifted their service offering or started a new painting business altogether to take advantage of this quote unquote gold rush. All right. So for those of you who are listening in who can't see my screen, this graph looks like two bell curves with the demand curve preceding the supply curve. All right. The gap between the demand and supply, highlighted in blue on the left, that's the COVID rush. That's where you were making most of your money. Now in 2024, the demand has gone back to pre-COVID levels. Again, we are basing this on data, hard numbers. But the supply is still trailing that demand. That means you are now that means now there are more professionals offering painting services in your market, but the demand has gone back to pre-COVID levels. Okay, so leads, estimates, customers. All right, so in other words, and this is the important part, the landscape this year will become more competitive. Period. All right. So this is data-driven information. Use it to make decisions. Great. So to add insult to injury, let's talk about a little something called inflation. So you may have noticed that the cost of eggs, milk, and everything else in this economy has gone up in price over the last year or two. You may have also have noticed that your cost per lead has gone up in price as well. All right. Now, due to factors outside of your control, such as, let's say, Google being sued by the Fed over privacy violations and those fees being passed on to the customer in the form of ad spend increases, we are expecting, in some markets, the cost of marketing to go up as much as 20% online. Okay, Meta and advertising on social media, those are certain to follow suit this year. You know, if Google takes a larger cut of the pie, Meta is going to take a larger cut too. Now, breaking this down even further, what that means is you are going to need to spend more money, energy, or time to produce the same results. All right, your year-over-year numbers will suck. All right, but fortunately, these are all market conditions we can see coming. We have the foresight now. All right, and based on our data, we believe that in 2024, we'll match those pre-COVID numbers. So in other words, this is going to be our new floor. So again, if you've created your company over the last 3 years, you have not known what that floor looks like until now. Now, some of you might be asking, well, Austin, what's the options here? And in this particular case, a simple solution is just simply raising your rates. You might also ask yourself, if I raise my rates in a competitive market, how will I compete? Now, if you're asking yourself that question, you've already failed. Fortunately, if you stick around the next 2 days, you're going to hear from industry titans such as Tanner, Nick, Justin, just to name a few. These professionals will teach you how to sell based on value, solutions, not price. All right, I promise there are simple solutions to these problems. Now, while we're on the subject of data, it's important that you have a plan for this year. And that plan begins knowing your numbers. Okay, so before we can set out on a path to reach our goals, we need to identify that goal, where we're starting at today, and then we can develop a plan to get there. Most of us business owners, as entrepreneurs, we are great at identifying what we want, but we are not so great at creating a plan to get there. Now, if you were not part of our Brush Up the Business event last month, we went an inch wide and a mile deep on this topic. All right, we discussed vision mapping, defining your numbers, KPIs, goal setting for the year. Brad Ellison was even gracious enough to gift a template that he used to scale Ellison Painting to $8 million in 18 months. I'm sorry, $3 million in 18 months. The recording from that event, and yes, even the spreadsheet he provided can be found at basecoatmarketing.com/2024. Tanner, I'm going to be listing off a few shortcut links during this presentation. If you wouldn't mind throwing those into the chat for everyone else, that would be super helpful.
You got it.
Awesome. Otherwise, please be sure to stick around over the next 2 days. You're going to be hearing from the man with 2 last names, Mike Gore Hickman, later today. He will be covering this exact topic in detail as well. All right, now let's move on to some specifics. How do you scale your painting business in 2024? As competition increases this year, one of the most important things to understand is that marketing your business online, especially online, is not magic. All right, as marketers, we are not magicians. As much as I would love that to be true, we cannot pull leads out of thin air. All right, some of you may think that by simply paying for marketing, you can expect to see results without any input on your end. And that is simply not reality, not anymore. All right, the landscape is more competitive, and your customers now have the ability to shop around. Great. So where do you start? Now, as a professional marketing agency, we do have a minimum barrier to entry for the clients that we work with. All right. We look at subjective KPIs like, are your growth goals realistic? Do you care about how we market your company or just bottom line results? We prefer to work with those in the latter category. All right. One of the most important metrics that we like to look at that is very measurable is company size. Why? So because in marketing is just a numbers game. All right. And small numbers, unfortunately, do not produce results. They don't produce a return. So for instance, if somebody asks you, what's your ROI for postcard mailers? How many postcards you send out a month? What's your return on investment there? And let's say you send out 1,000 postcards a month. Your answer is going to be very different from someone who sends out 30,000 postcards a month. All right. And by the way, if you're sending out less than 1,000 postcards a month, there's a good chance you're lighting your cash on fire. I'd recommend you donating that to the homeless instead. All right. But regardless, if you're investing in marketing and you are looking for consistency, the key word is consistency here, you need to invest in marketing at scale. All right. And your company size will dictate realistically what scale you should be operating at. Okay. So as a result, we group businesses in this industry into 3 primary categories based on revenue. Again, it's a hard measurable KPI. And this is important for all of you listening in because you are going to fall into one of these 3 buckets, and it's going to ultimately dictate where and how you should be investing your marketing spend. So if you are a painting business that is producing less than $500,000 a year, you are in the first category. All right. You should be working on your own forms of marketing. All right. Do not pay someone for this unless you have outside funding sources and aggressive growth goals. All right. We have countless resources in our free online academy about this. Simply go to basecoatmarketing.com/learn. We literally give our entire roadmap for how we market our clients on there. All right. So you can do just about anything that we do. All right. So if you are producing less than $500,000 a year and you are looking to generate more leads online, you really only need to focus on 2 things. All right. That is going to create and optimize your business profile on Google. It's free. Literally, just take some of your time. We have an entire resource library about that on there. And you want to push as many reviews to that profile as possible. We cannot buy your reputation online. And again, free. It's hard to beat that price. Second thing you want to do is compile as many images and videos as you can. Team photos, project photos, videos, time-lapse videos, tutorial videos, walkthrough videos, testimonial videos is great. These are all things that you can just shoot on your mobile device. You want to upload them everywhere you can. Your business profile, Facebook, Instagram. If you have any shared lead sites that you like to invest in, Angie, Yelp, whatever, go invest them or go upload them to those profiles as well. And keep those organized in a folder for later. Your future marketing agency will thank you. Okay. Now, if you fall into the bucket of 500 to 2 million annually, this is where you start looking into potentially hiring somebody for your marketing. Why? Because your time as a business owner becomes more valuable than the time that you would invest into marketing on your own. All right. But at the bottom end of that, you are still going to stretch to afford those larger numbers. All right. So for instance, we recommend nothing less than $2,000 a month in ad spend budget per an advertising channel. So as an example, $2,000 a month on Meta, $2,000 on Google. That is like the bare minimum. Okay. In some markets, we will not touch market saturation until we break $3,000 a month in advertising spend per a service, per a channel.
Austin Hauser, who is.
Hey, we got some other panelists on here, Tanner. Okay. So if you invest, so if you're offering, let's say, interior, exterior, and cabinet painting, and you can only spend, you can spend over $9,000 a month just on Google search ads before you see diminishing returns. Okay. So given that you should be investing into single digit marketing percentages of your overall revenue, even as a 7-figure company, you could still become strained to hit those numbers, right? That marketing spend could become a daunting task. Now, once you break $2 million, this is where we start to breach the cloud cover. You can see the sun. Okay. This is where you can start to plan on maxing out your local market. You have enough data to pull in some small levers that generates big returns. All right. Now, if you were not on our Brush Up the Business event last month, Brad Ellison talked about his $500,000 marketing budget for this year, because at scale, those numbers will with certainty generate him a significant ROI. Now, again, the recap and recording from that event can be found at basecoatmarketing.com. Highly recommend going to check that out, or please stick around on this event. There will be plenty of speakers that dive into these kind of metrics for you. Okay. Now, regardless of how much revenue you're generating today, marketing works the same for everyone. All right. And it's important that you all understand this and the mechanics behind it, or else you are bound to fail. All right. So let's break this down even further. From 30,000 feet, marketing is extremely easy to understand. I've been doing this for 15 years. Trust me, marketing is not hard. We tend to overcomplicate this. So marketing requires two things: input and time. All right. The more energy you invest in the marketing, your input, things such as money, creating media, gathering reviews, and the more time you give that input to mature, the better results you can expect. It's like the stock market. Okay. So I want to ask you guys a question. Who here has a retirement account? Please put a 1 in the comments. 1 in the comments if you plan on living past 59 and a half, you have a retirement account. Yeah. Okay. Now, another question is, how often do you check that retirement account? Once a day, once a week, once a month? No, right? For some of us, we check our retirement accounts maybe at most once a quarter. For most of us, it's probably like once a year. Okay, why? Because if we zoom in too far and evaluate those numbers too early, those numbers can look scary, right? They don't tell the full story. Marketing should be treated no different. Okay. If you are investing in marketing and you aren't expecting an immediate return and a permanent ROI, you will be disappointed. I guarantee it. So consider this graph. The first 12 months of a marketing campaign is really about building the foundation. Okay. You're going to feel the ups and downs of the industry. There's seasonality to this space, but with probably more intensity. Okay. Given enough time, two things start to happen though. One, the seasonal fluctuations begin to flatten. For instance, if you're in a northern state, the winters don't feel as slow. Two, your ROI becomes more predictable. It is very easy to scale when you can predict what's to come. The single biggest failure I see in this industry today when it comes to marketing are business owners that quit too early, before your marketing has had time to mature. It's equivalent to divesting your retirement account after 6 months of investing. That's absurd. All right. The assets that we build, our clients we consider them compounding business assets, and we like our clients to have that same mentality. Marketing takes time. Now, for the second part of that equation, and to illustrate the importance of this concept, our marketing director, Josh, and for those of you who are on this call who have not met Josh, he's a rock star. He knows his numbers. He evaluates everything very scientifically. So last year, Josh identified a trend between two accounts we managed. And these are accounts that we had all of 2023. These two accounts were within 20 miles of one another, with about a 90% market overlap. Now, we do have restrictions on how many painting companies we'll work with in a particular market to avoid conflicts of interest. But in this case, neither account would have ever captured even a small percentage of their target audience without spending at least $20,000 a month per channel. And more so, we can prevent conflicts of interest if we manage two accounts. So this actually made for a great case study. Now, anyways, these two companies were roughly the same size, each producing over 7 figures annually. They had almost the same, they had been in business for almost the same length of time, had a similar reputation built up. By every metric, this was as close as we were going to get to comparing apples to apples. All right, we eliminated all other KPIs from the equation and just looked at overall volume and cost per lead. All right, these are two top of funnel metrics that there's very little that can be impacted by that. Now, the only difference between these two accounts that impacted success and failure came down to one thing. Our best performing account provided us with new images and videos every single month. Our worst performing account never even provided us with a selfie picture. Let that sink in. Now, we were able to pick up that account that was failing, fortunately, but it took time to identify what was broken in that cog. Now, there are other secondary factors that contributed to that, which ultimately delayed our ability to identify what that problem was, such as a lack of reviews on their business profile. They were not providing us with feedback. They were not nurturing their leads. They had a call answering service that simply did not get people on the phone quick enough. But the bottom line is, if you are a one-man show behind the brush or you are a $9 million painting behemoth, marketing is like a relationship. All right, it requires your input, it requires your love, and it requires your attention. Okay, so far I've talked through a lot of concepts and mindset shifts you need to make as a business owner. Now let's dive into some specific actionable insights. Let's talk through some marketing do's and don'ts for growth this year. I personally prefer to lead with the negatives. I'm a bad news first kind of guy. So let's start with the don'ts. Okay, number one, do not compare your numbers to other numbers in this industry. All right, we have billions of data points, hundreds of KPIs, and over a decade of data to work with. Out of that, we were only able to come up with one measurable apples to apples comparison. It's the comparison we just discussed. All right, if you are comparing things like cost per lead, volume of leads, or any other metric in your business from a marketing standpoint to another business, you are not taking into account things like the age of your marketing campaign, budget, market size, market demographics, the services you're marketing, level of competition, online reputation, supplied creative assets. I mean, I could go on. Okay. The point is you are comparing apples to bananas. Yes, they are both a fruit, but one is also a berry. Okay. Instead, a more accurate measurement is going to be using market averages over an extended period of time. All right, preferably 12 months to account for the seasonality of the industry, and preferably in more than one market to avoid any sort of market demographic issues. Now, we have this data by channel, but that's for a whole other discussion. Okay, second, do not set it and forget it. All right, there's a term called market saturation. And on some channels, advertising in smaller markets in particular, let's say a population less than 1 million, which you guys should know your population size, who you're targeting. Okay. And we like to include everybody, not just households, because there are 2 decision makers in every house and we need to target them online. Okay. In some of the smaller markets, we can reach market saturation in less than 30 days. All right. So we want to talk about a bell curve again. What you're going to see is a massive increase in performance. You're going to hit peak optimization, and that's going to slowly decrease over time. All right. And that comes across the board for every single advertising channel that you market on. Okay. You need to refresh that ad creative as often as you can, without getting too often. Obviously, we want to make sure we're not trying to fix something that's not broken, but we don't want to set it and forget it. Okay. So as we previously discussed, marketing takes time. Okay. If you are trying a new advertising channel, plan on investing for at least 90 days. Okay. Should be something you're investing in. Treat it as an investment. You may not see an immediate return. It's a long-term business growth opportunity. If you are not capable of throwing that money away in some cases, do not invest in it. I would rather you have that mindset knowing that we're going to get you a significant return before then, but I do not want you coming in thinking you're going to see an immediate return. Okay. Now, when we talk about spending online, again, the cost of marketing online is going up. All right. We look for, at minimum, here at Base Coat Marketing, $2,000 per month per channel, but bottom of the barrel. If you cannot invest at least $50 a day online, spend your money elsewhere because you may not see a return. All right. And I love this one. If you are at a stage where you are looking to hire a marketing agency and they're guaranteeing any particular number of leads, let's say cost per lead, the number of leads you can expect each month, run. Okay. We can generate you 100 leads a month at $5 a lead all day long. But you're going to hate how much time you have to invest in answering the phone for junk leads. Okay, I would rather you pay market price averages for quality leads that are exclusive to your business. Your time is a commodity. We need to treat it as such. Okay, for the do's, I'm going to group a few of these together because this is really prepping you guys for every other speaker on this event. So you want to track your numbers. You want to create obtainable but ambitious goals. If you guys have ever heard of BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal, create those goals, make them obtainable, but ambitious. Okay. You want to create a roadmap to reach those goals. Now, if you are taking nothing else away from this presentation, go track your numbers. You need them to grow. There will be several speakers during this event who will hand you a template for all of this. So be sure to stick around. Now, second, refine your sales processes. We discussed how this year is going to be more competitive. This can be more competitive than the last 3 years combined. Okay. Tanner's going to be speaking here in a few minutes about this very subject. Stick around. Okay. If you are producing over $500,000 annually, you want to consider hiring a marketing partner at this point. All right. There's going to be someone that you want to hire that's going to help you reach those goals. Okay. But you need to know those numbers first. You want a marketing partner, not somebody that's going to placate you, especially during the sales process. So instead, you should be looking for someone that's going to provide you with market averages so you can make some decisions based in reality. All right. Finally, you want a marketing partner who's going to be proactive. All right. In this industry, in the professional painting space, proactive marketing is a requirement. And this is what that looks like. All right. So most of us here have probably heard of the phrase strike while the iron is hot. All right. In the world of business, and particularly in this industry, you need to embody this statement. So what does that mean? So your lead flow is impacted by seasonal market conditions outside of your control. As someone who owns a business in the painting industry, this should come as no surprise to you. Things such as holidays, end of quarters, most people don't understand how much impact the end of Q4 has on your painting business. All right. So for instance, if you're advertising online around the holidays, you should know that. So is every other big box store. All right. And there's a limited number of ad spots online. So as a result, your cost of marketing will go up. All right. Last month, the month of December, it is the most expensive time of the year to generate leads online. Now, this isn't complicated if you plan for it. Again, we want foresight here. And this is how we do it. We break down here at Base Coat Marketing every month into a quarter of the month. And we label those quarters green, yellow, and red. A green quarter of the month is a great time of the year to advertise. Yellow means we're trending in one direction or another, and red means we are going to struggle to generate you leads at a good price point. So how do you combat this roller coaster ride? You strike while the iron is hot. So after the first 3 to 6 months of marketing, advertising online, you should have enough data to begin fluctuating your ad spend throughout the year. The goal here is to increase your spend during the green quarters of the year. All right. So while it's easiest to generate leads, you want to get yourself booked out as far into the yellow and red as possible. So you simply coast through that difficult time of the year. Again, this strategy only works if you've invested enough time into marketing. We recommend at least 3 to 6 months. Now, this follows, this only follows the path of short-term marketing. So anything you invest in advertising online, this is where you are paying for each individual lead. We like to layer on long-term marketing as well, things such as SEO, organic building of your profiles online. These are all things that will help combat the seasonality. And we've already covered that topic in depth. All right, that was on our last liftoff event, which can be found at basecoatmarketing.com/SEO. All right. Great. Now, for a few other actionable marketing strategies, and these are timeless. Okay, first, you want to stop marketing your service. All right, instead, you need to market you, the business owner. The currency online is built around trust and authority. Your prospects will hire you because they know, like, and trust you, not your services. Again, this is sales 101 kind of stuff. It translates into marketing as well. Second, sell the hole, not the drill. I like to use the analogy of going to a restaurant. I will pay personally for good service over good food every single time. Good food, I can find that anywhere. Good service, that's hard to come by. All right. In contrast, anyone can slap paint on a wall. Doesn't take a lot of effort. And homeowners don't typically care about paint quality, but they do care about the experience you're going to offer them. You're inside of their home. Sell that, not your services. Stick around a few more minutes. Tanner's going to talk all about this. This will become one of the most important things you invest your time into this year. Third, a common complaint we hear about marketing, and this goes across any marketing channel, digital or print, is tire kickers or price shoppers. All right. One method we use, and there's a ton, but one we use to discourage any sort of price shoppers and any of those tire kickers from slipping through the cracks is what we call our MVO copy. All right. It's content designed to set the playing field. So MVO stands for minimum viable offer. We ask our clients during onboarding, what is the minimum project size you are willing to go quote for this service? It's generally going to be something like $2,000 for interiors, $3,000 for cabinets, and $4,000 for exteriors, or something like that. Now, we use this information to define a starting at price point. This is to discourage anyone from reaching out who may not be willing to expend at least that much. All right, there are a number of ways to increase lead quality, but this one is simple and it scales and it works great. All right, finally, and this one is relevant to both your marketing and your sales processes. If you are offering a discount as a promotion or as a sales opportunity, use or include both the monetary discount rather than just relying on the percentage off offer. So for instance, instead of saying, I can give you a 10% discount if you're ready to commit today, you could say something like, I can give you a 10% discount, which comes out to about $500 off this project if you're willing to commit today. All right. So even if your prospect went to college, don't presume they know how to do math in their head. All right. Make the decision to click on your ad or sign on the dotted line as simple as possible for them. And I have at least one last 2024 update for you. So we still offer the setup and ad management of Google Local Services ads to all of our clients at no charge. All right. And for those of you who are not already on Local Services ads today, otherwise known as getting Google guaranteed, stop what you are doing and listen in. Last month, Google has now added the long anticipated painter category to LSAs. So we have an NDA with Google. I can't spill the beans on everything we have right now, but there are a number of changes coming to the Google ad platform this year that will directly benefit the painting industry. That includes getting better results on Google search ads. We're really excited about it. Now, what I can tell you regarding Local Services ads in particular is this update has already been applied to our public SOP, which can be found at basecoatmarketing.com/LSA. basecoatmarketing.com/LSA. So a few highlights are going to include higher quality leads. You are no longer boxing yourself into the handyman primary category. You still want to list yourself there. Again, go check out that SOP. But you are no longer relying on that primary category as your only category. All right. Your leads are also going to be cheaper. our accounts average on this new channel between $20 and $30 per quotable lead. It does not get much better than this. Now, there are a number of caveats about this updated category. So please, before you make any changes to your account, go jump on our website, basecoatmarketing.com/LSA to check out some of those caveats. We have that updated at the very top of that post. Now, at the beginning of this talk, I told you that 2024 is shaping up to be the best year ever. I also just spent the last, 10 minutes or so talking about some doom and gloom around the fact that we are back to pre-COVID market numbers. Same demand, but a higher supply. All right, not great. So you're going to have to work harder for the same outcome. I also gave you a list of actionable insights and some mindset shifts that you can implement today to start growing your painting business tomorrow. All right, but who likes hard work? I know I prefer not to if I can avoid it. Some of us might. But 2024 is shaping up to be the best year ever, not because it's going to be easy, but because of the challenges that lie ahead. All right, as business owners, these challenges should excite you, especially because we can see them coming. All right, during this presentation, I've provided you with the foresight to navigate this year. Every challenge is a new opportunity for growth. So I challenge you today to ask yourself, not what do I have to do this year to reach my goals, but who do I have to become? All right, the person you are today is capable of reaching your current life. The life you want, that's going to require somebody else. And with that, if you would like to discuss if Base Coat Marketing is going to be a good fit for your painting business, grab a spot on our calendar, go to basecoatmarketing.com/call. A few highlights about us. I promise we do not hard sell. We turn away more business than we take on. We are currently booked out about 3 weeks, probably going to be booked out to the end of February before the end of this month. There are no long-term contracts. We let our results take care of retention. And there are no setup fees. What you pay month 1 is what you pay month 2. That includes, let's say, if we're building you a new website, we do not charge extra for that. And we guarantee leads in the first 30 days or your money back, no questions asked. And listen, I know I talked a lot about concepts today. I really wanted to set the stage for this event. I appreciate Tanner and everything that he's doing here. But if anyone listening in has any specific pointed questions about marketing, Google Ads, SEO, Meta Ads, email marketing, or any other marketing channel, I'm open to take questions here. Tanner, thank you again for having me on today, man. It's been an absolute pleasure to serve both you and this industry.
Thank you, brother. Man, impactful as always. I knew you'd set us off on the right foot. Guys, listen, we got 5 minutes for Q&A. Actually, 7. We'll stretch it out. Use the Q&A button somewhere near your screen. Please ask a question, guys. We are just getting started here, so stick around. We have about 300 people on the call. It's awesome. I want to thank every single person for being here today. It's value. Austin, thank you so much. Use the Q&A if you guys have anything relating to SEO, Google, the future of your business. Just please put it in here. We got one right here. So, what should a single owner man in the van company do right now, Austin?
Yeah. So Noah, what you want to do is go on Google and make sure you have a business profile established. One of the biggest challenges we have with companies that we look to market online is they have little to no reputation built up online. Again, we cannot buy your online reputation. Okay. The one thing you can do today to outpace even the multi-7-figure painting businesses out there is build up your reputation to be larger than theirs. So I would rather scale a company earning about $500K a year who has 120 reviews on their business profile than try to scale a painting company worth $3 million a year that has 5 reviews on their business profile. It is much easier to get you from point A to point B with the former equation. So go create a business profile on Google. Go to business.google.com to knock that out. It's free. It's going to ask you a few questions. I recommend getting your address listed there if you can. It's going to require some verification. They're getting really picky about home addresses and using that as your business address, but it is really helpful to have that if you can. And then push as many reviews to that as you possibly can. So we have an SOP for how to go about getting new reviews on that business profile. If you go to basecoatmarketing.com/reputation, that has an entire SOP, a script, and that you can implement in your final project walkthrough. Takes no additional money or time out of your day Simply ask for it before you leave the job. That is the number one thing you can do. The second is getting more images and videos compiled, upload them to that profile as well.
Austin, I got a lot of questions. Try to be concise so we can try to get as many in as possible.
Let's go.
$484,000 revenue last year, crew of 3 plus an owner. What's the best bang for your buck marketing channel for this specific example?
Depends on two things, your market size and your sales process. So I would, you can either advertise yourself on Google or Meta. Those are going to be the two primary online channels. I would book a spot on our calendar. That's, the bottom threshold is what we'd look to bring on, but at the very least, we may provide you with some direction there. It's, again, depending on your market size and your sales processes, that'll determine which channel is better fit for you.
If we hit our time, Austin will stick around and answer these questions through chat. How does Meta compare to Instagram as advertising? Currently relying on Facebook, and I'm having a tough time getting into Google. Planning on working my Instagram this year. Not sure where to start. I don't use Instagram regularly.
One little known fact about advertising on social media is organic is completely separate from the ads. So you need a Facebook page, but you can advertise on both Instagram and Meta, or I'm sorry, both Instagram and Facebook using a Meta ads account. So I would recommend just making sure that you have Instagram enabled. You can run your ads over there. Organic will give you a slight boost from time to time, but as long as you are posting before and after images, a couple times a month, just when you're out on the project, that's the only really organic marketing that you need to worry about today.
Fantastic. Thank you, man. All these questions. What are your thoughts on Google local services now that it has to offer painting? And should I localize my zip codes in local services ads?
I would recommend including any zip code that you feel like going to service, right? It's a way to extend the reach of that business profile. That's an organic advertising source. So the new category does not have paint interior or exterior listed under it. It's still listed under the handyman primary category. So again, if you navigate to that SOP that we have, basecoatmarketing.com/LSA, it has a breakdown of everything that you should do, how you should set up that profile. We expect those subcategories to be migrated over to that primary painting category at some point this quarter. I can't give any specifics on a timeline yet, simply because Google has not provided us with that.
Is it worth running Google ads for a small business that does not have the budget to build out a website yet?
No, I highly recommend not doing that. At best, go get your LSA profile set up, get Google guaranteed. That is going to be something that you can dispute and approve those leads as they come in. So you're only paying for quotable leads. Do not invest in a website. Do not invest in Google ads. Potentially start out over on social media if you're a smaller company. There are plenty of other guys out here who specialize in social media marketing for the smaller guys who can definitely help you out. Lucas and Eric are both one of those, or both those guys, and they're both going to be on this event later today.
Right now, our address is incorrect on Google. I'm worried if I try to change it, it will mess with our status. What do you recommend?
Oh, that's a good one. I recommend not changing it unless you have a valid business address to change it to. You're absolutely correct. Google's now going through a video verification process. It can be very challenging to get that reinstated. It does require business documentation, or you can actually get your profile in suspension mode, which is not great considering you may have already built up a reputation on that profile. So I recommend keeping it as long as it's within your target service area. Otherwise, again, I would make sure that you have some sort of a business address to update that to.
Love it. Austin, thank you so much, brother. There's some questions in here. I'm sure you're going to take over in the chat. And man, we really appreciate everything that you're doing for us and being an SEO guy that we could trust. Guys, please reach out to Austin. He is not exaggerating. His company does operate on a wait list type mentality, but they want to make sure it's a mutual fit. They're not just going to take your money if it's not a good fit. So thanks again, brother, for everything.